Are you ready? Let's go. Ready?
Ready.
Yeah, ready when you are.
Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
Holden Shepherd, Heidi Anderson, Jan Latta, Alison Patterson, welcome to my little show.
Why do you call it a little chat show?
Jan Nichols, Sam Eichen, Annabelle Smith, Donna Mazza, Rebecca Watson, Jonelle Fraser, Tracy Jacobson, Adam Wallace, Monique Mulligan, Matt Glover, Karen Young. I don't even know where I'm going with this. Welcome to my show. I've just had an amazing chat with one of the powerhouses of the children's book industry, the amazing Georgie Donaghey. Now, Georgie is celebrating 10 years of Creative Kids Tales this year. So I thought, let's just really have a look at each individual aspect of her business of Creative Kids Tales, really take a deep look inside and see how each bit can benefit emerging and established authors. Because I think we're all looking for more ideas, more inspiration, and more ways of being connected. So we looked at the Creative Kids Tales, the Writing Academy, the Speakers Agency that she's got, the Writers Festival coming up in June, and also the brand new Creative Kids Tale Publishing division that she's just launched. So pour yourself a wine, cup of coffee, whatever. Let's really take a deep dive into Creative Kids Tales and chat with Georgie Donaghey. Georgie Donaghey, thank you so much for being on my show. How are you going?
Hi, Josh. I'm back.
Excellent. Thank you so much for being on my show again. We had a great chat last time. We got to know you. But this time, what I wanted to really sort of get to know is Creative Kids Tales, because I think this is the 10-year anniversary of Creative Kids Tales.
Yes, Creative Kids Tales is 10 years old this year.
And I think one of the biggest things that for me is obviously watching you take the business from one point and now you're at this point where I think you've got 4 different divisions to Creative Kids Tales. You've got over 1,300 members on the Facebook page and you're a big industry player. You know all the big names and it's like you started off over here and now you're here. So I want to explore a little bit of that journey, plus sort of delve into what all the different divisions are and what they do. So what were you doing 10 years ago? What made you go, I'm going to create Creative Kids Tales?
Well, 10 years ago, I was running a local branch of the CBCA, the Children's Book Council of Australia, which was wonderful.
They do a great job.
They do a great job. And they've been around for a very long time. And I was running a local branch in the Sutherland Shire, which was good. It had been running many years earlier and then folded, and I came along and took it up. I'd been in the industry for several years, sort of, dipping my toes in here and there, and I met the wonderful Di Bates, who, whenever I'm talking to anybody in this industry, it's kind of like, the 6 degrees of separation from Kevin Bacon. It's the same applies to Di Bates in this industry. Di introduced me to the previous president of the CBCA Sutherland sub-branch. That's a big long name, and I decided to get it going again, which I did, and it was really well received, but the president can only run for a couple of years. Well, at that time I think the rules have changed.
It's 5 years now, isn't it?
I don't know, I think it was 2.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say it's 2 because I was voted as president, then I was re-elected. And then when it came up to the next election, so I think it was about 2 years because I was in the CBCA for about 3.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They then, you had to step down. No one wanted to do what I was doing. So, and although the CBCA was great, I just felt there was more that I wanted to do. So I remember I was walking around my lounge room on the phone to a friend, the lady who was the vice president of the CBCA group with me. And I said, I want to create a little website to help emerging children authors. I also wanted to get my name out there, but I wanted to help others because I knew there wasn't a lot out there to support emerging authors online, not in Australia. So I had this idea. I had my my couple of month old bouncing on my hip at the time. I was walking around lounge room. I just want to start a little website. And my husband, who was dabbling in websites at the time, I said, let's do this. Great idea. You can get more website, more website knowledge.
Get more experience, yes.
now. I think he regrets that. We're about to launch the 3rd or 4th edition of our website. We were a free service when we kicked off, and we were just helping people by having an online profile because not everyone had websites back then. And now we've grown into, oh gosh, I've been taking a trip down memory lane this year, all the things that we've done. We've published over 100 authors in our anthologies that we've published online and in print. And I'm sure I'll talk to you about these two later on, but through these through these publications, we've helped other people secure traditional publishing contracts at our festivals through the manuscript assessments. We've featured 20 different organisations. We've spoken to hundreds of different authors and featured them prominent authors, and illustrators on the website. We've been into schools. We branched out into radio. We did a radio show for 12 months called The Author's Shelf, which we interviewed a lot of people there. I was able to interview Posey Graham-Evans, who was one of the co-creators of High Five. She also was the creator of McLeod's Daughters, and one of the I think co-creators of Sons and Daughters, but that's going a little bit back in time.
Daughters. I remember watching that when I was about 12 or 13 or something. Anyway.
Yeah. So it was good. And I also got to chat with Dave Pilkey, who is Captain Underpants.
Oh, okay.
The creator of Captain Underpants. So that was an international guest. And I had lots of local guests as well, Jackie French and Andy Griffiths.
Because I know, because it's obviously, because it's been 10 years, you've had 10 years to develop the relationships and the connections. And I would say that, you are one of the most connected people that I know in the industry, in the children's book industry. And it's like, so you go, okay, well, look, especially during COVID last year, when everyone had to go online, when you go, okay, we're going to do workshops online, we're going to do this online. And you were so proactive in doing that. And now that you've got let me guess, it's the Writing Academy, it's the Creative Kids Tales Writing Academy, and you've got a whole stellar lineup of people. How easy was it to bring these people on board to host these events?
Well, I've handpicked these people, and I wanted to bring something that was different. I'm all about being different. So I wanted to bring courses, or make courses available for people who can't find these anywhere else. So we've done a few. Jackie French.
That's a bit of a coup, because you're friends with Jackie anyway, aren't you? I think.
Well, I know Jackie through Creative Kids Tales. She's always been extremely supportive. She jumped on the author's shelf with me twice. She's the first to put up her hand if I send out an email saying, I need this, or can anyone help with this, or does anyone want to be involved in this? She's the first one to put up her hand. So amazing, generous person. She was at the last festival that we did, the last Creative Kids Tales Writers Festival that we did. She was the key speaker. No, Jackie actually came to me. Jackie came to me last year. We'd just done a session for a Sydney library during COVID. And we had a bit of a chat afterwards, and she said to me that she wanted to offer me some exclusive workshops.
Fantastic.
And I said,
that's kudos, yeah.
Wow, thank you. Let me come back to you on that. And after I pinched myself numerous times because he was
just when you turn around and go,
yeah, I know. And authors and illustrators are my rock stars, and I do get starstruck. And he was Jackie French offering me something, and I was like, wow. So we've talked, and she's already done 2 sold out workshops, a picture book workshop, and we're just about to do an eating history workshop, which is really interesting.
I thought you were just going to have an eating workshop. I'll be in on an eating workshop.
No, it's eating history, and Jackie's actually got some special gifts for the people who will be attending that session.
So when's the eating history workshop?
Oh, the eating history workshop is coming up next month. I can give you all the dates because right now they've just blown out of my head.
People can just go to your website anyway. People can go to Creative Kids Tales and get all the information from there, which I'll put at the end. Who else have you got coming up as part of the Writing Academy?
Oh gosh, so we've got Jackie French. We've got more Jackie French workshops coming up. We've got a family history one. She wants to do memoir writing and essay writing as well.
So she's doing memoir, because I'm trying to write a memoir and I've got stuck, so I might join that one. So that's Jackie French is doing a memoir.
Yes, that'll be coming up later in the year. We just did Tracy Hawkins last weekend. Now Tracy did a workshop on sleuths, lies, and alibis. Now Tracy is an ex-Australian detective, and she usually does the forensic talks on cruise ships and has a lot of fun. So I contacted Tracy and said, how about you do something for us, writing for the children's market? So let's aim it at adults who are writing for children up to, say, 12 years of age. That was
it would be more middle grade fiction, yeah?
Yeah, so she talked about plotting, how to think like a criminal, how to think like a detective, DNA, using different techniques in search, in searches where the criminals would meet, where the detectives would get together with their little group or their little gang of people to try and solve. And it was really, really good. Yeah. So we're just going to do another one, but we're going to aim at the older market.
Yep.
Tracy Hawkins. Jan Larter is going to talk about self-publishing. Jan Larter has a lot of
Jan's great. I had her on the show last year. Yeah, no, Jan's great. So, she's going to talk about self-publishing and her journey through that process.
Yes. We've got Wendy Orr, who's doing a course on deep diving into the senses. So you will bring along to this course a favourite necklace or some little trinket, and Wendy will help you unlock using your senses to get to use those things within your writing.
Fantastic way of getting started. Yeah, okay.
Exactly. Sue Whiting is coming up.
Yep.
Jackie Harvey's coming up. Justine Barker is an agent. She joined us earlier in the year, and she's going to revisit us later in the year.
How did the earlier one go with Justine Barker? Did that go well?
Yes, it went very, very well. There was a 2 session. We're going to do it in 1 session next time. That was sold out. All our workshops have been selling out because we keep the numbers low. So each person in the workshop has a chance to interact with the presenter.
Okay. Are these do these via Zoom, or how are you doing?
Via Zoom.
Via
Zoom.
Okay.
So anyone could join. We had people from New Zealand join us for last weekend's session.
Oh, fantastic.
So very, very interesting. And of course, I've got my Invest the Right Way course going through the CKT Writing Academy as well.
So with your own course, how often are you running that? Invest the Right Way. How often are you running? Yeah,
it's on demand. Last year, I found that there was a need for it to run. I think I ran it 3 or 4 times last year. I'm also doing it at a local college face to face.
Yep.
So I'm running it next week. We start for the year Monday and Wednesday night. I've now added some more material to the course. So I say 4 hours, but I like to talk. So we're looking at 4.5 hours.
But you're obviously broken up over several.
Sorry?
That's broken up over a couple of nights though. It's not in one. Is that in one big session?
Oh gosh, no. Their ears would be bleeding listening to me for that long, Josh.
Well, they could bring a bottle of wine and settle in, and
Sure. Well, you could join us for the CKT Zoom group, which is on once a month, where we invite you to bring your beverage and bring some nibblies, and we just chat about all things book.
What dates is the monthly Zoom meeting? Is that on?
It's generally once a month, and so it's on this weekend. So it's generally around the 28th of each month.
Okay.
But I put all that on the website and on the Facebook group.
There's something about you really like bringing the community together, and I think that's one of the things that I know for emerging authors. When I first started, is like I just feel so alone. I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. Okay. And then you can join your local Squibby, you can join the CBCA, which is all great. Go to the functions and stuff, but sometimes, especially when it was locked down, or if you live in a remote area, it's like I'm just sitting here at my desk, feeling all alone. What do I do? But all they need to do now is basically jump on a Creative Kids Tale Zoom talk, or go to one of the things, and you're already connected with all these people, which is, I think it's a great thing to do.
Yeah, that's what we wanted to do. I mean, that was originally what we wanted to do. We wanted to give people a voice who didn't have a voice, get their writing out there, share their experiences, network, celebrate, wins together, and, help each other through those times when we get rejections. So it absolutely is 100% about community. So the Zoom group, there's no agenda. Last time we met, we just were reading a little bit of our current work in progress. I've got some silly author questions, and they are really silly author questions that I found on the internet that I bring to the meeting.
Have you got a silly author question you could share for me now?
Oh, hang on
off the top of your head.
I do. Oh, I've got my list here. Hang on a second.
Okay.
Let me see if I can ask you one. Oh, here's question number 1. What literary pilgrimages have you gone?
What literary pilgrimage? You froze there for a moment then, so that was a very significant pause. So
Okay, well, you froze too, and I thought you were stumped by the question. What literary pilgrimages have you gone on?
I reckon the one that has been really significant for me is the pilgrimage to the fridge to get another bottle of wine.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's a regular one.
Yeah, all right. Okay. Does a big ego help or hurt writers? That was an interesting question to bring.
I reckon you got to have a big ego hurts writers, but you have to have an ego. You have to have a level of self-confidence about yourself and what you're doing and what your message is to be able to carry through or push through all the insecurities or the feeling of self-doubt or the imposter syndrome. You got to have that as a healthy version, but not like where you got the big ego where you go to a writers festival and they go, oh, no, I don't want to leave the green room. How can I have the green M&Ms taken out? Thank you. Or I don't speak to my readers. Oh, no, I've heard horror stories like that. I'm sure you have too.
I've encountered a few authors like that, actually. I won't go into any names, but I remember going to speak to one during a lunch break at a festival. They had a minder while they were sitting beside them while they were eating lunch, and you weren't allowed to address them while they were eating lunch. So I agree. There are definitely some very interesting personalities out there. But you know what? You just answered those questions beautifully. So I think you should come along to our CKT Zoom group as well.
I'll make an appointment and I'll drop in and I'll make an appearance and I'll wear a funny hat. Now,
sure. Oh, we should have a funny hat. Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, there's no agenda. It's just getting together and just talking bookish things and what are we doing? Any wins or celebrations or, just
feeling connected.
Together.
Now, look, you've also got the Creative Kids Tales Speaking Agency. Now, I know speakers agencies are not the easiest things to run. I've heard from other people. How
Especially
is it
when
going?
You're launching COVID.
Yeah.
Well, we launched on the eve of COVID.
Good on you.
So considering, I love a challenge. Josh, throw it at me.
Don't invite more. Just so I can moderate my challenges.
Okay, moderate my challenges. Okay. Considering it's doing quite well. Schools are still a little bit, hesitant this year. We're sort of starting to get back into things. We've got some bookings where we think we're doing all right. We're about to do a big campaign once our new website is launched, because we're bringing obviously that website into our new website.
Yep.
So there's a lot going on. We have a new logo, and we've decided to give all our butterflies. We've completely rebranded. We've still got the book and the butterflies, but each butterfly will be a division of Creative Kids.
Good idea. So it can identify which division you're looking at. So with the speakers agency, how do you work that? Do you are you just a portal when schools come to you, or do you do an email out to schools, or how does that work?
We get cold calls from schools. We do big mail outs as well.
Yep.
We have referrals.
Yep.
So you name it, we'll go out there and we'll we'll try and get that booking for our speakers, and you're one of our speakers.
I know. So, full disclosure, everyone. Yes, I'm on Creative Kid Tale Speakers Agency, waiting for that first booking to come through.
Yes, sorry. Well, COVID.
And look, I am a million miles away on the other side of the world, or the state, or the country anyway. Look, I was going to say, what Zoom school visits? I know everyone wants to get in person and do the in-school visits, but Zoom ones, are you getting a vibe for, are schools slowly getting more into that or not?
Yeah, look, I actually did get out to a school late last year, which I was really surprised in COVID, but no, they were welcoming author live or face-to-face visits. I spent the whole day there, which was really great. Schools are adopting Zoom and other online platforms to get authors in there. So it's good that the authors can still, and illustrators, of course, can still connect with the kids. Obviously not the same as face-to-face, but hopefully, mid to the end of this year, things will pick up.
Yeah.
And there'll be more and more face-to-face visits around the country and around around the country. I'll just say Australia, around Australia. But that is one good thing.
Yeah, well, I'll say I did one from late last year because I'm in WA, and I did one for a Sydney school, a Zoom, and that was fantastic. I did 3 sessions, and they beamed me into each individual classroom, which I thought was great. So on my screen, I could have about 3 different classrooms and presented that way. And I did some illustration and did all that sort of jazz. And it was a really good experience. And the interaction with the kids was I mean, obviously you don't get that in-person vibe and, because we bounce off what the kids are doing. But I still managed to do that. And it was like, I think if we can get more of that happening, like say, instead of having to fly across or do anything like that, do a Zoom one. Yeah. I reckon that'll be great. It's just trying to get the schools more on board with that kind of thing.
Yeah, it is. And I know also you've got to take into consideration that the families have done it tough over the last 12 months. So there is not, perhaps enough funds for excursions or incursions. So there's that sort of, that you've got to bring into it as well. But I don't like to say one good thing about COVID because COVID's been really, really horrible.
You can't say there's nothing wrong with looking for positives in the darkness.
Well, one good thing that's come out of COVID is that it's opened the doors for authors and illustrators or creative types to get onto Zoom. We're not just have to, go to our local school or somewhere we can fly to, which flights are a bit of a thing at the moment too. We can go all over the world now.
Exactly.
I think Zoom and online
this show is a perfect example of something positive coming out of COVID and having to do something. How do I connect with people? How do I connect with like-minded people? How do I connect with my audience, with my readers? Create a show like this.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's a great show. I mean, you just need to start getting all those awards. I can see some trophies on your back shelf there. Are they for this show, Josh? Is there something you need to tell me?
No. They're for radio copywriting, and there is a ABIA award in the background there. But
very nice. Very nice.
Now, I want to talk. Speaking of ABIAs, which is the Australian Publishing Industry Association, you have now started Creative Kids Tales Publishing.
CKT Publishing, yes.
That is huge. I'm sorry, to start a publishing house is huge. So can you talk us about it? Tell us about it.
Well, I think I want to say it was a bit of a natural progression. I had a list of things that I wanted to achieve when I started CKT back in 2011. And I think now I've got ticked those off in 10 years. So it's time to make a new list. And I am denied about starting a publishing company. It's not anything that I've jumped into. Have thought about it for a while. And Creative Kids Tales, we actually published this book, which I showed you before.
That's the anthology. Gotcha.
This is the anthology. Yep. So this was our first anthology that we published, and we sold, I think it was about 1,000 copies. They sold out in 2 weeks. There's about 40 emerging authors and illustrators in this book.
Wow, what an opportunity. Yeah.
And that did really well. So then we decided to do another one, but this time I wanted to do something that was a little bit different. So these are stories that go bump, and these are enchanted stories.
Wow.
Do you want to do that again? Does that spin you out?
Yeah, I don't know whether my brain phased out or you phased out. Wow. Because what happened? The thing froze for a moment, and then the next thing was up. I was like, whoa!
And then there was a new book.
There was a new book, and I was like, did anybody else see that, or was that just me? Hello.
No, it's okay, Josh. Everything's
okay.
all right. You've not entered the twilight zone.
So what made? Okay. So how did you go about the publishing, the actual physical publishing of it?
Well, I just got some authors and illustrators together, and the covers are done by our illustrators. This cover is done by Susan Healy, and this cover is done by Ruth Mary Smith. Sorry. And they're not really scary stories. They're for kids 5 to 12. Mm-hmm. And we've got our beautiful authors and illustrators. I can't find. Oh, here we go. I think it is. No, I can't find it in the center. Oh, there we go. Yeah, yep. Beautiful authors and illustrators who've contributed. Mm-hmm. I engaged a company to help me put it all together, and it was fairly easy to do.
So they did the typesetting and all that sort of jazz.
Yeah, they did the typesetting. I mean, I had to get it all for them and put it in the format that we wanted to use it, and they kind of just translated that file to the file that went off to the printers. So it was all relatively easy.
Gotcha. Can I ask what program you use to do the formatting in your computer?
Well, I was just doing it I just got it all together in Word because it was mainly text. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure exactly what the designer used. She just sent me the completed file.
Gotcha. So you did
I just printed through Ingram Spark.
Right. Okay. Simple. So
and now I do reprint through Ingram Spark. It's very easy.
Passage of play was you put it all together using Word, gave it to your designer. They did the typesetting and all that, and then they give it back to you. Then you send it off to Ingram Spark.
Yes.
Right.
Easy. And I do the reordering through Ingram Spark, easy peasy. But I've got our first picture book. This will be coming out under CKT Publishing later this year.
Oh, so this is the first official picture book that you're publishing under your own publishing house name. Yay!
Yes, and it will look a little bit different like this. This is just the dummy that or the proof that Vaughan, who did the gorgeous.
Don't call it a dummy. It's just the proof.
It's the proof. Well, it's a mock-up. The mock-up. So, and I think he printed this through Vistaprint.
Oh, wow.
It's very, very, and we'll be doing it through Ingram Spark, obviously. And we'll be doing soft. This is a hardcover. He wanted to see what it looked like in hardcover. We'll be doing a soft cover because the idea behind that one was Vaughan and I were talking, and we wanted to get some books into schools. Every time we do school visits, depending on what area you go to, some families can't afford a 1995 picture book because I never sell it at the recommended retail when I visit schools because I want every child to be able to, get a book. But even at 1995, depending on what areas you go to, it can be a little bit pricey for some families. So we wanted to create a picture book that was around the $10 mark. Mm-hmm. So every child could leave a speaker's an author event and have a book in their hand and have a book signed by the author. So that was the idea behind it. So
that's to make it affordable for most families to be able to get a book, right?
Exactly. So that kind of where CKT Publishing came from that, because we've done, Creative Kids has done a couple of anthologies, so we've kind of done the novel type book, and we wanted to branch out and do some picture books as well.
So,
and
are you at the moment then? Are you open for submissions?
We're never open for submissions.
Oh, okay. You're just publishing your own sort of.
No.
How does it work? Okay, tell me how that works.
It's a secret. Don't tell anyone. No, it's not a secret, honestly. We're looking at the manuscripts that come through our manuscript assessment service.
So you're going to it's almost like actually it is like a go to woe service. People can do their manuscript assessment. which is obviously that's a fee. You pay a fee for the manuscript assessment.
Yeah, you pay a fee. It's not, we're not a vanity publisher or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
The idea behind coming through the manuscript assessment service is people who put their manuscript through the manuscript assessment service generally have done the hard work.
Mm-hmm.
They have their manuscript as polished as it can be. And then it comes through us and we help them with structure and voice and all those sorts of things and assess the suitability of their manuscript for the market. Now, there have been a few that have come through that we've been very excited about, but haven't been able to do anything with because we were not a publishing house.
Yeah.
So that was, another reason for launching CKT Publishing. And we actually have assessed a manuscript that we're in discussions with at the moment to bring to a published picture book. So with an author illustrator. So that's very exciting. And we're always on the lookout for more. Everyone, I've said this before, everyone, and I tell everyone, you need to earn your stripes, to be an author. And the minute you open your doors, I know when I have competitions, when we have CKT competitions, I have entries from people who've said, never written anything before, saw your competition, thought I'd just write something and send it. We don't have the resources to say we've got an open house, open doors, send through your submissions, because I guarantee you, I don't know if you're a gambling man, Josh, but I would make you a bet that we would at least get 200 submissions.
Yeah.
And to go through those, we just don't have the resources. And I would hate to miss something that is worthwhile. So we've decided to go through the manuscript.
It starts with the manuscript assessment service, and then it can go from there. So if it's deemed worthwhile, if you believe it's got a thing, you can then show that person how you can bring that book, that manuscript to fruition, to actually have a physical book in your hand at the end of the process. Are you also looking at distribution or anything like that, or ways to
Yes, we will. And, marketing and all those sorts of things and promotion via social media. We're not in any hurry. We want to do it properly, and we want to produce quality books. We don't want to just churn out whatever and have it out there on the shelf. So we're not in any hurry. We're going to do things in a timely fashion, but make sure that we have quality product out there, because I've worked very hard to ensure that Creative Kids Tales has a reputable name. So I don't want to. I don't want to.
So
I don't want to bring that undone by just putting out anything out there on the shelf and undoing all the hard work that I've done for the last 10 years.
So if anyone wants to get the process started, they go through the manuscript assessment service. I like that. Now, look, coming up, where are we now? This will mostly go to air in April. What could go to air this weekend? I don't know. But you have got you have got the Writers Festival, your online Writers Festival in June. Are there spots still available?
Oh, there are tons, because we're going online.
Excellent.
We were hoping to get together face to face, but look, we've decided just for this year we'll do it online. And the great thing about doing it online is when we were face to face, we were having the event for one day. And it was the 5th of June. And you'd have to choose. We're going to have 2 concurrent rooms running. You'd have to choose which room you want to be into and which speaker you want to listen to. Now it's on Zoom. We're going to do the festival over the whole weekend, so the 5th and 6th of June. So people who purchase a ticket, still the same price, you'll actually be able to listen to all the speakers. The speakers at the CKT Festival this year are Ursula Dubosavsky, the current Children's Laureate, Andy Griffiths, and I'll be having a bit of a chat. Tina Harris, who your viewers might know as Lala from Lala's Big Live Band on Nickelodeon. She's, because we're working under the theme of Know Your Audience. So she's going to talk about TV audiences and bringing your piece of work to script to the small screen. Wendy Orr is going to talk to us about Nims Island and how she took that from a chapter book to Jodie Foster starring in the movie of Nims Island. We've got Tim Harris, who writes the Mr. Rambuckle series. Oh my gosh, we've got Louise Park, who's going to talk about the education market.
Louise is awesome.
There is so many people that we've got, and you can get 2 days now for the price of one.
What about you got the one-on-ones with the publishers for the manuscript? Have they all been?
Yeah, we're running those. No, there are still a few spots available. We're actually running those the weekend before the festival, so they're on the 30th of May.
Okay, because I believe that my publisher, Sharon Evans from Big Sky Publishing, is on the lineup.
Yes, she is, and we do have a few spots available left with Big Sky.
Okay, they're a fantastic publisher, everyone. Really, thank you, Big Sky. You're awesome.
We have Big Sky, we have Wombat, we have Alan Unwin, we have Ford Street, we have Margaretta Lamont, who'll be doing the illustration assessments. Oh, I'm sure I've forgotten somebody.
You've got everything covered, haven't you? You've got manuscript assessments. You've got all the workshops happening on the following weekend. So I'm gonna wrap it up here and just go. Well done for 10 years for Creative Kids Tales, and to go from such a great idea to where you are now, running these big 4 divisions, and you've got the actual Writers Festival coming up in June. If people want to go to that, they just go to Creative Kids Tales.
Yes, if you want to catch us on the Creative Kids Tales Network group on Facebook, we have all the information on there, or our website, www.creativekidstales.com.au. And when you take up membership with Creative Kids Tales now, you will have 2 one-on-one phone calls with me throughout your membership, your year of membership, where I'll sit down and talk to you about where you are in your journey, where you want to go, and what CKT can do to help you. So we're bringing that personal service right into your home. Wow. And we'll have a chat. We have an exclusive section, the CKT Writers Hub for our members, which you get discount to manuscript assessments and our author personal training. We have a dedicated critique group, a private critique group, there's 5 small groups within our one big group, and there's lots of resources, and you get a complete publishers listing if you're a member of all the publishers in Australia for children's writers, and the agents listing as well. So there's lots of benefits to being a member with CKT. So sign up, $7 cheaper than $7 a month for membership with CKT, and the bonuses are just...
I can imagine there will be lots of bonuses, apart from just feeling connected with other writers and actually knowing that you're going to be getting good advice is so invaluable. So valuable.
There's one butterfly that we haven't allocated anything to yet, so I think that's going to be our growth butterfly. Our pink butterfly is going to be growth, I think, because there's still a lot of possibilities out there. I think CKT, we've only scratched the surface in the last 10 years, Josh. There's a lot more that we can do.
I am looking forward to the next 10 years. Congratulations, Georgie, and I'm looking forward to I'm going to jump on one of your Zoom talks. You're going to have your Zoom group meetings you have once a month, and drop in and say
Please do.
Oh, you got the popper? Popper, congratulations. Yay.
Thank you. Thanks, Josh.
Thanks, Georgie.
Thanks, Josh.
See ya.
Bye.
What are we gonna do with all this time?